I need to mute him. Okay. You are live, view channel, and we're good. Alright guys, sorry for the quick delay. I'm making sure everything is set up and running. And that's what happens when you do everything. Everything! So, I mean, you just have to look pretty.
I mean,
that's hard, I guess.
Sometimes I can do that.
Oh, okay. Then maybe I should get you out of your contract.
I did do something tonight.
You did. You did a lot tonight, and I appreciate it.
You took feeling the love.
You took that off my shoulders. I feel good. Welcome, guys, to season 2, episode 2 now.
Woo!
Of Talkin Geek. I hope all of you are doing fantastic today. My name is Aaron. I'm your host, and we're here with the Captain Robert. Can we go Captain? I don't know. I was gonna say Captain America. Like I keep throwing you stuff, and now I don't know.
That's weird, Captain.
I'll think of another one later. We'll get a better one. So guys, I hope all of you have had a good weekend. First of all,
yep. We got a lot to talk about today, so we got to dive into it.
So this is our geekiest talk show on the verse, and today on the show we're gonna have a little PAX South news, some trailer news, Doctor 2 news, which surprisingly kind of
Strange.
Doctor Strange. That's what I meant. Joker's news that actually was for me.
Whatever.
Crisis, Infinite Earths news.
Yep.
As of today, and maybe a little MCU bits and pieces here of like some other stuff that's coming out with like Falcon and everybody. So I guess we should just dive right in. So first thing I want to talk about is PAX South.
PAX South.
I don't know if anyone's familiar with that.
If you're here in San Antonio, it's here.
Yeah, it's that was our sound guy in the background right there.
If you heard that, I don't know.
So thank you everyone who's here. But yeah, so PAX South is the biggest gaming convention here in South Texas. There's not much bigger than that I know of, at least around here. We are going to be there. We're going to be covering it. We are definitely going to make sure that we have interviews with some of the devs, some of the streamers. Hopefully, I don't know why he did that. Oh, that's supposed to be the mic.
Yeah, I'm interviewing you.
So
come on, bro.
Devs are going to be there. We'll be getting some interviews with them, some game developers, hopefully some other board game companies that are out there. We'll be able to talk to them.
Yeah.
Definitely some of the streamers out there. We have a couple streamers that I follow that we're going to try to talk to. Gaines, if you're out there and you hear me, man, I'm going to try to go talk to you. You owe me a hat, by the way.
Ooh.
I'm going to buy a hat from him. So
that doesn't sound like
I owe him money for a hat.
Oh,
is that better?
Okay.
I
owe me a hat, but I'm going to pay for it.
I have to pay for the hat.
That seems cool. Support your local artists.
Yeah, support local people here. I'm going to support him. Nice guy. So, I'm excited to go see all the new games coming out. These are a lot of indie developers. This year, there's not a lot of big name companies. Last year, we had Sony and Capcom there. Unfortunately, they won't be there this year. So if you're looking for big companies, I would recommend kind of staying away from it. But if you're looking for a lot of indie developers, probably the biggest one I think going there would be 3D Realms, who are the original creators of the Doom game back on the PC way back when.
Wow.
A lot of those guys actually formed this new company, and they have a cool little game that's kind of reminds me of old school Doom when I played it last year. I think that one's actually coming out this year now.
Nice.
So if you want to check out some indie games, for consoles, PC, everything essentially, come check it out and see what it's like, guys. I really recommend it because for me, it's a way to see a lot of the new stuff without really spending a whole lot of money. You just buy a batch, And a lot of these guys will give you the ability to go demo the games.
Sure. And, if you're not going to be able to make it there for whatever reason, follow us. We'll be throwing stuff up all weekend long that we're there. We're covering stuff, and so we'll be talking about it. We'll talk a little bit about it next week on Talkin Geek too. But it's going to be exciting. If you are going to be there, hit us up, and we'll say hello while we're out there. If we're not busy working, we'll spend some time with you. So
his wife has me working the whole time.
Well, the whole time. I mean, I think that's appropriate. I work the rest of the time, so.
That's true. So if you haven't followed us yet, please follow us on our social media accounts at officialgygeo. That's on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. You can go to our YouTube page as well at youtube.com/officialgygeo. Hopefully some videos will be posted up on our Instagram though, and Twitter and Facebook as we're there filming and pictures and everything. So come say hi, give us a follow if you haven't already. We really appreciate it. But enough about games, because I know you're not the gamer of the group.
Done with games.
So,
no, I mean, we've talked about this before. I never got into games as a kid, and it's kind of hard as an adult to get into that stuff if you weren't into it as a kid. So
exactly.
I like games, the ones I play, but I just don't get into them much.
But
I am the movie guy.
You are my movie buff. I will not lie. You know way more about movies than I ever could.
Well,
except
I've forgotten more about movies than you will ever know.
That is true. But you know what you didn't forget? The Black Widow trailer.
I did not forget to watch the Black Widow trailer. Yes, it came out last night, I think during the national championship game of football there for those college sports ball, right? Actually, I like football.
He follows it more than I do.
Was it Clemson?
That's true. Clemson versus LSU.
It was a good game.
Go Tigers! If you're a Tigers fan, LSU pulled it out. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about Black Widow.
And she's on screen right now if you are watching it.
So yeah, this is it was kind of a teaser trailer. It's about 1.5 minutes long. We got a new trailer. We get a little bit more kind of the story. We learn a little bit more about Black Widow and what's going on with her.
Yeah.
We find out a little bit more about her family and stuff, and we actually get our first real good shot of Taskmaster.
Oh yes,
at the end, we see a couple shots with him in his shield, which was pretty cool.
Yes.
So yeah, I mean, overall thoughts. What do you think?
Finally, don't get me wrong, I liked the first trailer, but I was worried it was just another action-packed movie. But the action scenes in this one finally felt like a Marvel movie.
Yeah.
If you don't know anything about Taskmaster, I do recommend reading the comics a little bit about him and Captain America and Black Widow. He has muscle memorization, photographic muscle memorization, meaning if he watches you do it, he can repeat it instantly. And they showed that in the trailer.
Yeah, they did.
Where they're both coming up off the ground at the exact same way in time. I was like, oh, they actually are bringing that to the screen.
Well, and I wonder because it looks like there's just a quick shot. It looks like earlier in the trailer, Rachel Weisz's character is fighting someone, and it looks like she's fighting Taskmaster, and she's using the Black Widow, kind of legs around the neck move.
I remember that part.
And so I wonder if she fights him early in the movie, and because the widows kind of all fight the same way, he now, by the time he even encounters Natasha, he already knows all the moves because he's fought a different widow.
Exactly.
So yeah, that would be interesting. Again, the shots with the shield looking very Captain America-ish. Flipping around with the shield and blocking bullets and all that stuff. Yeah, it looked cool.
And I wonder how they're gonna say how he knows how to use that shield.
I mean, I'm sure that there's been footage covered. We've got cell phones that.
That's true. He just watches it enough. He's like,
So I'm sure there's viral video of the Avengers battle in New York or Sokovia.
All I see is him sitting in the gym watching that video like Spider-Man did. And he turns the chair around like the cool guy.
Yeah,
which
is great. I do love it. So you're in detention.
Yeah, that's all I see. Taskmaster is just watching those videos.
That'd
be hilarious. But I enjoyed the trailer. If you are watching this, let us know in the comments below, of course, what you thought of it. I'm excited for it now.
Yeah,
I finally got, and especially we got more of her dad. What's his name? Red.
I don't know that that's her dad.
Her dad-ish kind of person, I guess. Anyway, sorry if I
Red Guardian.
Yeah.
the Russian version of Captain America. We see one of his fight moves where he's not in the suit and he's some guy's going to punch him and he grabs him and does all that. Was pretty cool.
I really enjoyed that one.
So, I mean that was definitely cool to see that, and the Black Widow trailer again. I'm looking forward to it. The movie's coming out in May.
Yeah.
And so I'm looking forward to the movie. The trailer looked pretty dope.
Yeah.
We got our first look at a different movie.
We did.
Morbius, starring Jared Leto,
Living Vampire,
is coming out in July, and we got our first look at that trailer. And so there was definitely some things in this trailer. So before we talk about the MCU connections, right?
Okay.
Let's just talk about the overall trailer.
I'll take that picture down because he's gonna yell at me.
What did you feel about the trailer? Did anything stand out to you?
First of all, I just want to say because Gaines is hosting us.
Oh yeah.
Hi everybody in chat. I just want to say hey.
What's up?
Thank you for joining us here on Talkin Geek. This is the geekiest news show in the verse. So I hope you all enjoy it. We're talking right now about movie trailers. We just finished talking about Black Widow, and we are now talking about Morbius, the Living Vampire, another movie that is Sony owned technically still.
Correct. It's in the Spider-Man verse, adjacent to
kind of.
the MCU, which we will talk about in just a second. But let's just talk about the trailer that came out yesterday, right? So,
yes, I'm excited for it. So
yeah,
I'm a Spider-Man fan. So if you don't know anything about me, I love Halo. I love Spider-Man, and I was stoked. Thank you, everyone, for the sparks, by the way. I was stoked about this movie coming out a little bit because I love Morbius. I love the character. I love that. If you know anything about me too, I love that gritty and that dark, brooding kind of person. So that's kind of why I like Batman too. Yeah. But I was worried when they said Jared Leto. I was like, oh, how are we gonna do this, Mr. Leto? Let's see what you do. But the trailer sold me so far.
He's gonna be the Joker again. No.
Oh.
Ouch.
But Joker and Batman meet again.
Yeah. So yeah. This trailer, I mean, I got real Venom trailer vibes from it.
Yes.
To be honest. And that movie, I liked the trailers more than I liked the movie. I still liked the movie. I thought it was okay.
Yeah.
But the trailers were really cool. This trailer was really cool.
It was.
And definitely there was a Batman feel to it. There's that moment where all the bats are like flying around him, and I'm like, that looks exactly like Batman Begins.
It really did. I was like, Batman Begins. Are we back? Yeah. Are we starting over again?
But it was a cool trailer, and obviously that character in the comics is a villain and an anti-hero at different points, so it'll be kind of interesting. They did that already with Venom, who also, again, started off as a villain, has become more of an anti-hero.
Yes, exactly.
So we'll see what they do with Morbius. Good acting talent on board, though. Jared Leto's a really good actor. Jared Harris, I'm a really big fan of. I think he's a really good actor.
Matt Smith is actually the villain in it, too.
Yeah.
So now we've had two doctors go from the doctor, a hero, to now villains in the MCU, technically.
I mean, well, yeah, David Tennant.
David Tennant was Purple Man.
As Purple Man in Jessica Jones.
Yes.
Which I'm glad you actually brought this up, because this movie is in the MCU the same way those Netflix shows were in the MCU, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's technically it fits in.
It does,
but I don't know that the MCU proper films are ever going to reference Morbius.
Right.
And if you recall, we've talked about this before with the Sony and Disney deal that shares Spider-Man.
Yes.
There's only one. They had to renegotiate it this past summer, and now there's only 2 movies left: one solo movie and one group movie on that contract. And it certainly seems like Sony has plans for the Spider-Man verse. You know, with Venom, with this movie Morbius, possibly a Sinister Six movie. I mean, Venom 2 is coming out later this year. And so it seems like they're getting ready to build a universe on their own, which will include Spider-Man.
Right.
And then maybe he'll exit from the MCU and they will go their separate ways. I don't know. We don't know yet. But this movie drops a couple things in this trailer that tie directly to the MCU.
It did. You know, and right now, like up on screen, so if you are watching us live and not on our podcast, you'll see I did drop this earlier. Oops, not the right one. Earlier. So we have Morbius walking down appears to be a dark alley.
Yep.
And you see Spider-Man with the word murderer written on it.
Right.
Now, if you've watched anything, I don't know if you've been watching what's been going on about that poster. It's not Tom Holland.
No, it's from the first Sam Raimi movie.
So it's from the first Sam Raimi movie.
Yeah.
But it's also not. So
it's from the video game, right?
Actually, the video game. But the suit's based off the Tobey Maguire one.
Right.
So they just connected every single Spider-Man together.
Well,
because like, wait.
And I think I saw something about it that Sony might not have the rights to the Tom Holland Spider-Man suits because those are all created by like Tony Stark. Yeah. And so maybe that's why. But the word murderer written across it appears to tie directly to the end and spoilers of Spider-Man Far From Home, which came out last summer, in which. You know, Spider-Man is kind of called a murderer by J. Jonah Jameson.
Right.
You know, so we won't get into full spoilers on what else happened in that moment.
So that ties in.
He's definitely Spider-Man is a menace again. You know, way to go, J. Jonah Jameson.
Get out of pictures. So you know the funny thing is though, so they tied in Tom Holland technically with the murderer.
Right.
They tied in Tobey Maguire. Andrew Garfield.
No. Nobody cares about him.
He was a brick in there. There's people see just like in the background says Andrew. But
he's tied in because he was a co-founder of Facebook, right?
Oh, yeah, we'll go with that. So the other thing is, though, like you said, the other tie-in
Yeah.
Right here with Michael Keaton assuming reprising his role as the Vulture.
Correct.
Adrian Toomes.
We are assuming that is the same character. Again, assuming that this is part of the MCU, he does play the Vulture in the first Spider-Man movie. Adrian Toomes, yeah. So.
And
it certainly looks like it. It looks like it's at least tying it together a little bit.
Yeah.
I would love for, as we move down the road, all of these things to be tied together. But I was not expecting Morbius to tie in at all to the MCU. So the fact that it did totally caught me off guard.
It really did. You know what? And the poster with the Spider-Man, I was like, okay, that could be nothing. But when you dropped Michael Keaton in that scene, I was like, wait a minute. We just literally dropped Michael Keaton on this. And I love how he comments, it sounds like Morbius, by this point in the movie, whatever's going on, was trying to be a good guy, and now has gone bad. Because he says, oh, what up, Doc? You done being a good guy? Or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, so they are going to kind of play off that maybe vigilante kind of feel, like Blade and like Punisher and everybody else. So I'm excited. I'm really hoping that's going to go somewhere. And we'll see where that one goes.
Yeah, and if you don't know anything about Morbius, so he's the living vampire, which I think was like in the 1970s is when he was created, because, and there was a comics code at the time that you weren't allowed to have like undead characters.
Yes.
And so that's why he's the living vampire. He's not an undead creature,
which is weird.
But he is basically a vampire.
Yeah, he has all the. So he does have the echolocation,
right?
He has the super strength, the speed, and the thirst for blood.
Right.
So, and that is in the comics that paid homage to it, because I was kind of worried if they were going to take away that thirst for blood, because that kind of is where you start borderlining. Now he might be kind of evil because he has to kind of kill people to live, but hey, animals kill other animals to live too. I guess I don't know where you want to go with this, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes, and I can't wait for the next trailer. I am still worried because it is Jared Leto. I know you said he's a good actor, and I agree to a point. But Joker really hurt it from his career on my book.
Well, and yeah, I mean, talking about Suicide Squad, that movie, Jared Leto's Joker was certainly misused in the movie, and I didn't particularly care for the interpretation. But there was not a lot in that movie.
No,
there
really wasn't.
That lended to his character. And so I think he got a little bit of a raw deal with the movie itself.
Yeah, he did.
And certainly the interpretation was weird.
It was really off. So we'll see. But
talking about Suicide Squad.
Exactly.
There was another trailer that dropped. This one dropped actually last week. But this is the Birds of Prey trailer. Birds of Prey and the Emancipation of One...
Oh my gosh.
I don't know. It's a really long, weird title.
What it should have been, Harley Quinn and the Gotham Sirens.
Yeah.
Whatever.
It's called Birds of Prey. So this trailer dropped, and I think the movie's coming out in April?
I think I said April. I think is what... I'll be honest, I'm confused on all the dates.
Morbius is July. I think this one's April.
Yeah, because Black Widow's May.
Yeah.
So yeah, this one's
this movie, I'm not the biggest Harley Quinn fan. I know everybody really liked Margot Robbie's interpretation of the character in Suicide Squad. I'm just not a big Harley Quinn fan, so I didn't care about her character in Suicide Squad.
Same. I was right there with you.
And I think that movie's really bad. This trailer, I will say, I think it's the best one they've released so far.
It's got me interested a little bit.
But I still am just not overly crazy for it. The thing with Ewan McGregor's character, like actually having a black mask, if that thing doesn't get fused to the front of his face,
I'll be
at
upset.
some point during the movie, I'm gonna be mad because black mask needs to actually that needs to be his head.
Yeah, and that's his thing in the comics. He is it's an all black skull looking thing. So I'm getting interested in how they're gonna tie that together. Real quick, JMC24, thank you. They like the posters in the background.
Oh yeah.
So thank you. Cool. Want to say that. But yeah, so back to the Harley Quinn one. I was the same way. I didn't really care for Margot Robbie in Suicide Squad, but she was, let's say, between her and Deadshot, they were the only two that stuck out for me.
Yeah, I like Deadshot a lot.
Oh, I love Deadshot.
I actually thought Captain Boomerang was cool in that movie.
He was pretty cool. I don't like his background. They keep switching it because if you know anything about comic book, Captain Boomerang is actually a molester.
So maybe let's not bring that up.
I'm just saying, like that. There's some stuff in there. It's like you got to be careful with him because they keep rewriting his background, and it's just like okay. But anyway, so moving from that, but I like one thing about this. So if you know anything about comics, they have Harley Quinn was never originally.
Right,
she was created in the 1990s Batman
on the Batman animated TV show. Yes.
And one of the things in the show, and I'm gonna post it right now, she had 2 hyenas. and they were supposed to be like essentially her dogs, kind of like how we have little pit bulls and whatever. These were her puppies, and she addressed them as puppies, as dogs, and she treats them like dogs.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of cool that they actually threw that in this movie. So it feels like they are getting some source material, and they are using it. Birds of Prey, if you don't know, it's supposed to be the girls that are like part of the Bat family, and the good guys are who work together. So that's what throws me off when you throw Harley in there, because now you're trying to make her that more anti-hero feel to it. But at the same time, it's like, I don't know if these people are anti-heroes really. Are they? Because Huntress is an anti-hero.
Right.
And it's like, okay, so is she a villain in this? Is
well,
she
and
not?
even like Renee Montoya, who's a police detective, in a lot of stories she's been corrupt.
Exactly.
Like, so yeah, it definitely feels like all of these characters that they're bringing in, I'm like, are, what is it, Cassandra Cain?
Cassandra Cain.
And I feel like there's one more that I'm missing.
There is, and I can't remember her name.
I don't know.
But, I mean, yeah, they're all anti-heroes.
Right.
But the Birds of Prey were supposed to be like Oracle, Batgirl, the other Batgirl.
Yeah. This definitely should have been Gotham City Sirens.
Yeah.
Not Birds of Prey.
100%. So, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Like you said, this was like our first real, like, okay, maybe a little more interested.
This was the best trailer. I'll still see this movie.
Yeah.
But I'm not excited about it the way I am for both Black Widow and Morbius.
Which is odd for me.
Or New Mutants, which we talked about that trailer last week.
Yeah.
And that trailer looks awesome. That movie looks cool.
That one really caught my attention too.
So definitely, this is lower on my list, and especially you look further out in the year, we've got movies like Wonder Woman 1984. We've got the Eternals. I care more about those movies than I do about this one too. So.
And I'm right there with you. We'll see how that goes. Maybe I'll knock it out of the park and we won't even know it.
Yep.
But the one that snuck up on me that you actually told me like an hour ago, and this is why I was like, oh, I missed a trailer.
Yeah.
There's so many trailers
it
that
dropped
dropped.
today. Trailers. They're everywhere.
Right? It's like, why am I so many trailers? I'll watch all of them.
Yeah.
And as I should have, oh well, I missed it. But if you guys are a fan, first of all, I just want to mention this because you didn't know this, but it's based off a comic book. The comic book name is called Bloodshot.
Right.
And if you are a fan of Power Rangers from way back when in the 90s, Jason David Frank, who played the Green Ranger, is actually the character model for the comic book.
Yeah.
He's actually the character on the cover, so if you actually look at the cover, and there's even some photo shoots of him dressed as this character, and it looks really cool. I haven't read it. I'm going to pick it up now. Now I know the movie's coming out. I really need to go pick it up and read it. But it's funny because he did the principal photography, he was on the comic book cover, but who do we pick to go be in the movie? Not Jason David Frank.
Not him. No. We're gonna get a movie star. So we got
Oh,
Vin Diesel in a generic looking action movie that could be good, could be bad. It's coming out in about a month. This was actually the second trailer for it. I totally missed the first one.
Yeah, we both missed that one.
I have no idea when that one came out. But it's, basically the premise is he's ex-military and he dies. They bring him back to life with sort of nanotechnology, if you will.
Yeah.
And they're messing around with his head. They're messing around with his memories. And so they're basically using him like an assassin by messing around with his memories and making him think that his wife was murdered, and they're implanting images of who murdered her so that he goes and kills those people.
Exactly.
And obviously there's something sinister going on. Maybe they're the ones that killed his wife. Maybe his wife's not even dead.
Right.
We don't really know.
Maybe it was his puppy.
Maybe his wife is in on the whole thing. Maybe it's a total betrayal. I don't know anything about the comic. I don't know anything about the movie. It looks like, again, it looks kind of generic.
You're right.
But it could surprise. It could be really good. I'm guessing most of the people watching haven't seen the trailer because literally it came up today and you didn't even know anything about it.
Yeah, it was so under my radar. And that's sad because I was like, I'm going to pick up this comic book one day, and I've been so busy with work and everything else, I keep missing the comic book. And the other day I even saw it on a stand. They're like, I guess they have it in trade. And I was like, cool, I should pick that up because I know Jason David Frank. I'm a huge Jason David Frank fan.
Yeah.
I was like, I'll pick that up. And now that this dropped, I was like, I really need to pick this up so I can read it before the movie comes out.
For sure.
So, guys, I definitely, if you're a Jason David Frank fan, check it out no matter what. At least the comic. Wait till the movie comes out and we talk about it if you're going to,
Well, watch the trailer, see if it interests you. I always say you should make up your own mind about movies. So
that's true.
Go watch the trailer. If you want to see it, go see it. If it doesn't interest you, we'll talk about it on the show and you can hear maybe our thoughts and maybe you'll want to see it after that. Who knows?
The cool thing was, I want to mention this. Again, I like cinematography. We've said that. I like the way his skin was kind of like reforming after he would get injured.
Yeah.
He was in, like almost instantaneous healing because of the nanites. It looked kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of reminded me a little bit of like the Tony Stark suit.
Yes.
In Infinity War, where it's like regenerating itself, and it also, in a bad way, reminded me a little bit of Terminator Genesis.
I forgot about that film.
Which kind of had that same type of look to it.
Yeah.
And this is in between those. The Tony Stark one is really, really good. The Terminator Genesis one was really, really bad. This one's it looks good, not necessarily great, but it's a trailer. Maybe it'll look better in the movie.
It's gonna be the Kmart of movies. We had Walmart, we had Target, now we're gonna have Kmart.
Oh, wait.
What?
Tony Stark's Target.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tony Stark's Target.
I just wanted to make sense because we talked about Tony Stark first, but then you mentioned Walmart first, and I'm like, my brain is connecting.
It's Terminator.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
That's how we're gonna scale it. That joke almost got lost.
Oh, jeez.
So,
well, I think that's it for trailers.
Yeah.
We're not done with movies.
No, that's true, we're not.
But the other big news that came out this week was that Doctor Strange 2, which is scheduled to come out in just over a year from now.
Yeah.
It's May of next year. Its director dropped out. Ian Marvel said creative differences. He's still going to stay on and executive produce, but Scott Derrickson will no longer direct Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Reports at this point are that they're not going to change the release date, but that's a pretty tight timeline.
Yeah.
They obviously need to bring a director on pretty quick because they're going to start shooting in April-May timeframe. So they got to bring a director on, bring them up to speed on what the plan is. This movie is supposed to tie together with a lot of the Disney Plus shows like WandaVision, like Loki, and possibly some other ones.
Yeah.
And so this seems like a very critical movie in their slate. And at this point, to lose a director that they've already worked with, this is the same guy that did the first Doctor Strange movie, over something like creative differences, I was really taken aback by this.
That kind of rocked me a little bit because I'm like, it doesn't make sense. Why would you? What made you want to drop out? Like, what was this big creative difference that was like, you know what? I am stepping away so late in the game because, like you said, filming starts in a couple of months. It's like you're literally at the end game for starting the film. And they don't obviously want to push it back for whatever reason. And like you said, because it's tied into everything else is already filming.
Right.
So that's going to be interesting how it goes.
And you got to wonder, I think, so Scott Derrickson is a horror director.
Right.
Right? And there have been reports, they've done interviews, both he and Kevin Feige have described this movie at different times as the scariest movie that the MCU is going to have. I think there are a lot of fans that went, oh, it's going to be a horror movie.
Yeah.
I don't know that was ever the plan, right?
No.
Scariest was the term that they used. Well, there haven't really been any scary movies, so that's a low bar to clear.
Well, New Mutants is going to set that bar, though.
But is that an MCU movie?
Depends how much money it makes them.
Well, exactly. So, anyways, I wonder if that had something to do with it. I wonder if there was like a direction that he wanted to go that was darker than Disney was willing to go. Maybe they're willing to go so far, but not all the way.
Exactly.
So that could be it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, if you're a director working for the MCU, dropping out of an MCU project is not good for your career.
No, it's not. But speaking on that note, and we got people in chat, so I want to ask this out loud to everybody, including you.
Okay.
Now that he stepped out, who would you want to see fill in as a director? Me, personally, because I haven't seen him direct in another Marvel movie since Ultron, Joss Whedon. I would like to see Joss Whedon come back.
I mean, I've never... I think he's more for the quippy humor.
True, yeah, he really is.
And I don't know if that's the type of movie this is going to be or the type of movie I want it to be.
Okay.
I'm trying to think outside the box, and I'm trying to think, like, honestly, if you're asking me pie in the sky, who I would want.
Yeah.
I would want the Korean director that just made, like, Parasite. Bong Joon-ho.
Something like that. Yeah.
He also did, I think that zombie Train to Busan, that zombie movie that was really cool.
I haven't seen those yet.
So if you're talking like a horror movie, like, or a scary movie, like, I would totally sign up for a movie with him. But yeah, I don't really know. I mean,
because
I guess you know what would be really interesting. Jordan Peele.
Jordan Peele would be interesting.
Who did Get Out and Us.
That would be an interesting one. I don't know. I mean, let me know what y'all think too. Like, who do you think should direct the movie now that he stepped out? Just where do you think? What do you want to see? What director you want to see in the chair?
Rob Zombie, obviously.
Oh my God! Hey, I like the first Halloween. I would like to point out that he did.
Why?
Why not?
Because it's bad. That's why not.
House of a Thousand Corpses was bad.
Everything that he's done is bad.
Devil's Rejects.
Yeah, don't
yeah.
do that.
Okay, we're not gonna do. Yeah, you're reminding me why I don't like the other stuff.
No, for sure not.
Different type of humor.
Oh,
It really is. So going from horror to maybe a little more laughy. No.
Is it?
No.
No, it's not.
Mental issues and disorders, I guess.
So big news for sure in the geek world.
Yeah.
It is Joker, the movie starring Joaquin Phoenix, directed by Todd Phillips. Received the most Oscar nominations of the year. They were just announced earlier this week. I think it either received 13 or 14 nominations, including the main ones like Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actor. I'm pretty sure cinematography was in there, original script, I think, screenplay. I know that score was nominated, which I think the score will probably win. I think Joaquin Phoenix has a really good chance to win for Best Actor, and I think it has a good chance to win Best Score. I don't think it'll win Best Picture or Best Director, but it certainly has a chance. And it is the first comic book movie to receive those types of accolades.
Right.
The only acting award that's ever been won at the Oscars, at least, is also for the Joker, which was Heath Ledger. That was Best Supporting Actor. So this is Best Lead Actor, which again, it's a little bit more prestigious. So we'll see what that looks like. I know you weren't a huge fan of the movie, but that's still it's cool to see a comic book movie. Is it really a comic book movie?
Yeah.
But it fits in the geek world.
Yeah, it does.
And it's cool to see a movie like that get as much recognition as this one did.
And I agree with you. Don't get me wrong. I love the fact that it's up there. I just, at the same time, I don't. Because there's just so many reasons why. But I also said from the get-go, this movie was made so he can get the Oscar.
Sure.
And it's going straight down that path. I really think that's what it was.
And I think he does a fantastic job in the movie. I think he absolutely deserves this nomination.
I'll give you that. Yeah.
And, I don't know if he deserves to win. There's a lot of good acting performances out there. But it was a good movie. It's a movie I liked. I know you weren't as high on it.
Yeah. I still enjoyed it for what it was. But like we talked about before, there were certain aspects that didn't need to be there.
Yeah, I hear you.
But I'm just happy with it. I'm glad it is up there. Hopefully more comic book movies will get nominated and hopefully win. Hopefully Doctor Strange, Black Widow, anything that's coming out in the pipeline, Eternals.
Yeah.
I mean, we have a huge slate of comic book movies coming out in the next couple of years, guys. So hopefully that'll, this will be that doorway at least now open for comic book movies to finally get the nominations and not get snubbed at those films like a lot of other times they have.
Endgame got a couple nominations for like best visual effects and stuff like that, which these movies tend to get those types of nominations. So it's certainly not anything new. The big one was obviously, best picture, best director, best actor for Joker. That was the big news. Keeping with the awards, there were actually some Critics' Choice Awards that were announced this past week. So those were actually they were movies and TV shows, and there was a lot of things. Joaquin Phoenix won there for Best Actor.
Yes, I saw that.
Endgame won Best Action Movie of the Year.
Yes.
And then you had from Watchmen, Regina King won Best Lead Actress in a dramatic TV show.
Manhattan's Wife, right?
Yes.
Whatever.
Way to spoil it.
Sorry. I mean, it's been over for like a week or two. And our video's been up there. My bad.
And then Jean Smart, also for the same show, as she is.
Is she the doctor?
Silk Spectre 2.
Oh, okay.
So she is Jean. She goes by Blake in this.
Oh, okay.
Or not Jean. Lori Blake.
I have no idea. Never saw the show. But I know everything that y'all talked about on our other videos.
Anyways, she won Best Supporting Actress.
Okay.
At the Critics' Choice Award for in a dramatic TV.
Nice.
So yeah, the superheroes doing pretty well. at the Critics' Choice Awards. I think Watchmen was nominated for Best TV Drama.
Yeah.
It did not win, but definitely a very critically acclaimed TV show, and superheroes cleaning up.
I'm glad.
Super villains if you're a Joker.
Joker. And you see, so we're gonna have a Joker winning awards. Joker re-meeting Batman again in the MCU. So Joker's all around now.
Something like that.
And he was also a Jedi again. I just want to point that out. There was some more news about that. So anyway.
So if you're not watching us tonight, the only excuse is that you're watching something else.
Yes, and I've been watching it, and after this, I'm gonna watch it. Crisis on Infinite Earths is wrapping up today, guys. 2 hours, technically a 2-hour special at
It's
this
the
point.
finale.
So it is the finale. It's going to start off on Arrow, the very last episode of Arrow. Finally, Arrow after 8 seasons is finally over, dropping 8 episodes this season, and it's done. Tonight's the last night if you want to see Stephen Amell on that show. But he is on another show, and after that episode, we get DC Legends of Tomorrow season, I believe 4 now. Episode 1's kicking in, so it kicks off today.
Yep.
And they will be finishing up Crisis on Infinite Earths. So I'm excited for it. If you've been keeping up with any of it, you're going to see on screen right now, I have, like, the whole cast is pretty much of every DC CW superhero has been there. And including a certain bald man has now taken over the place
Lex
of...
Luthor.
Yes, of our Superman. So if you haven't watched it, definitely watch it. See what happened to Superman. See what's happening in the universe itself with Black Lightning finally coming over on one of the crossovers, as you can see.
Yep.
You see Stephen Amell is still kind of a center point in this picture. So it's interesting that Arrow's over, but
Except
he
looks like he's like casting a spell though.
magic
He's a
missile.
specter.
like isn't he supposed to have a bow and arrow? He's green arrow. Like I'm just
With a punching bag at the end, or punching glove at the end of it. But still,
okay.
that's what you gotta watch Crisis, man, and see why he's dressed that way. So if you
I
haven't
guess
watched
so.
it,
I haven't
you
been
should.
watching. I never really got into the Arrowverse, so
right.
I haven't seen most of
Arrow.
the shows. I did watch the trailer for this final episode of Crisis, and I was like, that is a TV budget.
It really is. Don't get me wrong. It is a TV budget, 5-hour-long movie.
Yeah.
Because that's essentially what it is. But you know what? It's not bad.
Yeah,
You know, it's not
and I
bad.
mean, certainly if you've been hanging out with these characters for that long, hopefully, everything I've heard is that it's been done
Yes.
pretty well. People have enjoyed it for the most part. I'm anticipating some more cameos and things that we haven't seen yet. So
There's probably going to be at least 1 or 2 more, I'm thinking, based upon how episode 3 ended of Crisis on Earths. I think there's going to be 1 or 2 more. If you haven't seen it, I'd recommend watching it, but I'm going to spoil one thing. Lucifer does come out in it. And I mean from the TV show. I don't know if you watch Lucifer at all. Oh, okay. Well, Lucifer is in it.
I'm
and-
totally gonna fool you one of these days and
I'm
pretend like I've seen it.
No, terrible. So if you haven't seen it, he does make a cameo with John Constantine,
Nice.
Matt Ryan. So that's an interesting
Not
little...
Keanu.
No, we don't talk about Keanu.
Why not?
'Cause
That movie's
was
awesome.
not...
The movie's awesome.
Yeah, I like
It's not Constantine. That is
Well,
not John
no,
Constantine.
It's totally different than
So,
the comics, but
It
I don't
is.
care because it was an awesome movie.
it was okay.
No, it's awesome.
Shia LaBeouf. That's all I gotta say.
Shia LaBeouf's fine as
So-
that. Tilda Swinton is the Angel Gabriel. That was
That was
awesome.
yes. I'll give you that.
Okay.
So now we're going off on a tangent, but yeah, definitely, guys, watch it. There's been a bunch of cameos. You have her, you have Brendan Roth reprising his role as Superman. Lex Luthor comes out. Smallville Superman comes out.
Yep.
I mean, there's been a ton of like cameos, including 1986 Batman. Was that when it came out? The original.
89.
89.
Yeah.
The news reporter is actually in it. Who else?
Victor Vale.
The voice of Batman from our 90s cartoon. I can't think of his name all of a sudden.
Kevin Conroy.
Thank you, Kevin Conroy. He's made a little cameo in it,
You're
so it's
fired.
cool. You haven't even watched any of this stuff. You're fired
But
too.
you didn't know Kevin Conroy.
I knew it was Kevin, but I was going to say Kevin. Yeah,
Corduroy.
Corduroy. So it's been interesting, guys, and it's been real fun watching it. So I strongly recommend it. You can also watch it separately, away from not watching anything else, if you just want to see, hey, how did they do on the Crisis comic book
Sure.
as a crossover? And you really don't need to watch the other stuff. It's really self-contained, and I like that.
Well, maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll just watch The Crisis.
I would recommend that. So we also have.
purchase something voodoo.
We could
No.
do that.
I'm good.
That was our camera guy behind everything. Sorry, guys. So, it's Frank over here for anyone who's new watching
Always
us.
chiming in.
His 2 cents, yeah. So,
Well, he can't afford it anymore.
right, right,
Come on.
the, like rib somewhere. I don't know.
Yeah.
But last part of the news, well, a couple of more things.
Yeah.
Some MCU news you said came out. Some little
Yeah, so
tidbits.
there's a couple small things that came out with the MCU. Nothing major, but there was an interview with an executive at ABC TV saying that they were in early talks with Kevin Feige to possibly bring a Marvel show to network TV. Obviously, they've done that before with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Right.
Was on ABC for a while.
Yep.
Then they had the Netflix shows. Now all of their content has been spinning off to Disney Plus.
Yep.
But they're talking about, I'm sure ABC is owned by Disney, and so I'm sure they're going, well, we want a piece of the pie. Give us something.
Yeah.
Whether or not it'll come to any fruition, whether or not it'll actually end up in a show, I don't know. I watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and so I like it. It's not great, but it's good. The shows that are going to be in Disney Plus are more like limited series, where it's going to be like 6 to 8 episodes, big budgets. It's going to look more like a movie than a TV show.
Unless you're Mandalorian and forget to close the door, then open it, and then it comes back again.
God, seriously?
Yes.
That's not... Kevin Feige was not in charge of that, okay? We're talking about Marvel.
Just saying.
Okay, fine. So it ruined your entire experience. I'm sorry. Anyways... So I don't know. This obviously, if they did a network TV show, then you're talking about scaled back budget, and a weekly show that runs over months.
Yeah.
Part of the appeal of these Disney shows is, I think they are going to release them every week, kind of like they did with Mandalorian.
Yeah.
But because they're so short, you can fit them in between movies.
Exactly.
So part of the problem they had with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. with like 20 episode seasons is like, a major movie would come out in theaters while there were episodes of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. going on. And it's like, is that supposed to be concurrent? Do you have to address it then? How do you address it? It's not going to get addressed in the movie, so it's got to get addressed in the TV show. So there's a lot of logistical problems with having a network TV show on top of the scaled back budget, which might mean lower quality, all of those issues. It could still happen, but...
It could. I mean, I think like you hit on the nail on the head, because... You had
just like you with that phrase.
Oh, shut up. You hit that. Oh my god. I need more alcohol. I just haven't had enough.
Well,
alcohol.
That's true.
So we had. I'm trying to think of the movie. Is my problem. Thor: The Dark World came out during season 1, I believe, of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yep.
And they had to try to tie that in. They even used some footage from the movie. So yeah, I kind of agree.
Well, and that one was totally clumsy. Like
It really was.
like their next episode after that movie came out, they were in London doing the cleanup. And it was like, that was weird. But then, they were still on the air. It was right near the end of the season when Captain America the Winter Soldier came out, which sees the fall of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
And so that totally changed the show, and for the better. That was
That's
the
good.
moment where the show really took off. And because now they were kind of fugitives on the run, trying to figure out who's Hydra, who's not. And that played in the dynamics
That's
of the
good.
team even. So that was definitely, that tie-in worked really well for the show. But then after that, they didn't really do any more tie-ins.
Yeah.
That was kind of the moment where the movie studio and the TV show studio started to separate. But with Kevin Feige now in control of it all, they certainly could do it. He's got the plan. He knows what things look like, so they could do it. And the only reason I could see for them choosing to do this would be to possibly drive subscriptions to Disney Plus. So let's say the show is on ABC and it starts referencing or tying into things that are only available on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
So now you're going to get people that maybe, oh, I didn't even know that I needed to subscribe to that. That would. That's really the only business reason that I could see for them doing it. I hope they don't. I don't think they need to.
No.
I think that having the movies and the shows on Disney Plus is enough. Again, when you think of the types of characters and stories they're exploring on Disney Plus, we've got WandaVision, we've got Falcon and the Winter Soldier, we've got Hawkeye, we've got Loki, we've got Moon Knight, She-Hulk, Miss Marvel. Like, those are all characters, and that's not even including their animated one, What If.
Oh yeah, the What If.
But those are all characters I want to see given big budgets.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
it's like, what are you going to do on network TV that you're going to be able to do with a small budget?
Exactly. That's true.
Because they're not going to give it a huge budget and run it on network TV. That's just
you're
not
gonna
gonna
eventually lose money, and like I think you're hit it again because Disney Plus, if I'm not mistaken, the last reports I read made $1 billion, something like that.
I'm
close
sure
to.
it did.
So they have the money. They know that's where their money's going to be. So I think you're right. They're going to throw a bone to ABC or somebody else. Here, get the show, but then make sure you tie in WandaVision. It comes out this time, so that episode needs to tie in with this episode, and this episode needs to tie in with this one, and that's all. Make sure everything that, like you said, come over here, kind of like a comic book. You get this whole storyline of, hey, here's what happened in this issue. But if you really want to know what happened to this character, you should go see issue number 247 of their comic.
Right. I just think they've been really careful with their content.
They have.
They've been really careful with allowing, with the shows that they create and everything, and ensuring that that information or the quality of those shows is high. And again, the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. show and some of the other shows that, like Runaways was a Marvel show that wasn't really tied in. Even the Netflix shows were kind of hit or miss. Like Daredevil was really good. Season 1 of Jessica Jones was really good.
Yeah.
I liked the Punisher seasons.
Both of those were good, yeah.
But, Iron Fist wasn't great. Luke Cage was okay, but not necessarily great. And those were with TV budgets.
Yeah.
And even that was, 13 episodes.
Right.
Network TV shows typically are going to be somewhere in the range of about
26 or so,
22 to 26
Yeah.
episodes. So you're talking about, they give you a budget for the season, not by episode.
Right.
And then you got to figure that out. So the more you're stretching it out,
Yeah.
the more challenging that ends up being. So again, if they do it, I'll watch it. I'll give it a chance. The only thing that I never even gave a passing glance to was when they did what was that?
Inhumans?
The Inhumans show.
Yeah, that one tanked.
And it was awful. It was canceled immediately.
Oh my god, I feel like the first episode.
Yeah, I think they canceled it before the first episode even dropped.
Well, what they did was they aired episode 1 and 2 in theaters,
Right,
and they realized how
IMAX.
cruddy it was.
Yeah.
It's like, nope, we're not doing this anymore.
Yeah, so definitely, I was like, I'm not even gonna waste my time with that.
No, not at all.
So unless it comes out to really horrible reviews, I'll at least give it a chance if they decide to do this. But again, if it happens, it'll be years down the road, and I still am very skeptical that it will.
I agree with you. And I just want to comment, so we are also on Facebook Live. So Sean has commented that the guy, the writer of Rogue One and Book of Eli wants to make a movie based on the games for Star Fox. I don't know how I feel about that. Because I didn't like Rogue One, though.
Which writer of Rogue One?
That's
the
true.
one that made the first movie or the one that changed the movie at the end? Because when they completely remade that movie in reshoots.
Oh.
Like, it got completely changed. So, was it the writer that wrote the first movie that we never saw? Or the writer that wrote the reshoots? I don't know. I like Book of Eli, though.
Book of Eli was good. I'll give him that. I wasn't a fan of Rogue One. So, I don't know.
You have no soul.
No, I don't. It's gone.
You also don't like the Skywalker movies. You didn't
No.
see episode 8 until like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Still haven't
I
seen
did
episode
see
9.
Han Solo, though, before all that.
Yeah, I know, and Han Solo's the worst.
I don't like
Actually,
that
no,
one.
episode 9 was worse.
Oh, I'm not even, now I can't watch 9 because everyone hates on me like in Han Solo. And
I want you to go watch 9 because I want you to
Watch
tell
it.
me that you love it. And
Oh
I'm
my
be like,
God.
you're the worst. It's the worst. Actually, if you love episode 9, more power to you. A lot of people loved it.
it was a good
It didn't
one.
do it for me, but a lot of people loved it.
So I'm going to kind of wrap up on that one because we only got a few more minutes left before we end. But just to remind everybody, because I know we still have about 60 people, at least on Mixer and a few other of our social media accounts, we will be at PAX
PAX South.
all
Be
weekend.
there.
I will
Come
be
see
there
us.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You and Kristen will be there Saturday only, I believe.
Saturday for sure. I think I'm up in the air on Sunday. I
Okay.
may or may not be there on Sunday, but definitely Saturday.
Okay, so I'll be there all weekend for sure. Maybe you'll see Robert Saturday and Sunday. Lisa's wife, Kristen, who's been on this with a couple times on a couple of our shows. She'll be there Saturday. And definitely, guys, so what we're doing is we're doing interviews with devs, with streamers. So if you are watching us on Gains, hopefully we'll go talk to Gains and get some streamers to talk to and interview them. We do really want to talk about a lot of the gaming stuff here in San Antonio and around the States. A lot of indie developers will be there, 3D Realms, Tiny Build, who's the ones who made the neighbor game. Gosh, there's so many other ones. Mage Quit is another fun little game. If you've never seen it, we're actually going to interview them. It's Bowl Cut. Fun guys. I've interviewed them last year. Really chill guys, and their game is so fun. It's basically a wizard casting spells, and whoever wins gets the longest beard. And that's how you win. Your beard, every win you get, your beard gets longer and longer. It's so cool.
That's pretty sweet.
So, stuff like that, guys. And so we'll definitely have our interviews up right after PAX. But during it, as Robert said, during the weekend, we're going to be having pictures. So check us out on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube.
Probably
all
do a
those
couple
things.
live videos and stuff, just
Yeah.
walking around the con and doing that kind of stuff. So.
Exactly. And that's all. I'll be on our social media, and that's always at official GYGO. So you can check us out on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. Mixer has our live videos on Tuesdays at 7 p.m. So if y'all enjoyed this, let us know in the comments. Let us know if there's anything you want to hear more about, anything you think we should change. We are always open to you, to suggestions.
Yeah, we want to give you the content that you want. So, let us know what you're interested in, and we'll talk about it.
Yeah, we will. And if y'all like podcasts, we're right now on Google Podcasts and on Spotify.
Yep.
We're working on getting on everybody else, Apple and iHeart and all them. So hopefully in the next couple of weeks we'll be on all podcast platforms, and you can enjoy us there if you want to listen to us versus watching our beautiful faces.
Which,
So-
I understand. I listen to a lot of podcasts too. And sometimes it's just nice when you're driving. You can't always watch somebody's face.
No, you could. If you have a Tesla, you could.
Yeah, that would be dangerous.
That would be very dangerous. I don't recommend it at all. Please don't do that. So on that note, guys, let's go ahead and end it here.
Yeah.
Because I think we've kind of covered everything that came out this week. If you do want to check out more of some of the news that's kind of come out in the week that we just didn't talk about, facebook.com/officialGYGO. You can check us out there. And we always like to say at the end of this, and I always want to know what makes you geek, guys. Let us know in those comments. Drop them down below. And, y'all have a good one and enjoy your evening. And watch Crisis on Infinite Earths, because that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to finish that up.
See you later.